Hi guys, GTR here with another old school replay cast. This is from WCG 2002, October 2002. This is between Slay's BoxeR using the ID Gonia119 and JoSeZ from Peru. There's a particular reason why I want to do this particular game, but obviously won't spoil it, so let's get into it. Spawning here at the 6 o'clock position as the teal Terran is going to be Slay's BoxeR. Everybody knows who he is. He's the emperor of esports, the king of Terran, whatever you want to call him. Around this time, he was pretty much the best player in the world. And at the left side here, spawning as the red Terran, is JoSeZ. As I said before, he's from Peru. Coming into this game, JoSeZ was probably considered to be one of the biggest underdogs, not only in this match, but also in his group, because his group at WCG in 2002 contained the likes of Froz from the United States, also known as Liquid Hero, before the real Liquid Hero came around, or StarCraft 2, and also had DD8, who was one of the strongest European Protosses at the time. So we see here, we are on Lost Temple, and we can tell already how anachronic this match is that JoSeZ is going for a wall-in Terran versus Terran, which you never see these days. He's also delaying his gas, going for the 8 supply depot, 10 barracks, also going for a quick scout after his supply depot, and now he finally gets the refinery. Meanwhile, I guess BoxeR's doing a bit more of a traditional build, getting his barracks by the edge of his base so he can float it once he builds his initial marine. And looks like his gas is slightly behind JoSeZ's. So we'll see what builds pan out here for both players. You can see BoxeR and JoSeZ transferring their SCVs to the gas, trying to get that as soon as possible. My biggest question is whether both of these players will go for second supply depot first or go for the quick factory. You should be going for the quick factory, but if your timing's a bit off, you will have to go for that supply depot second before you get maxed out on that 18 supply. It looks like, there we go, JoSeZ goes for the factory, and there's BoxeR's factory as well, so no surprises here. Although the placement of this factory is a bit strange here from JoSeZ. Usually you want to put it around here so it's closer to your ramp. But I guess he has that wall in, so feels pretty happy. Maybe this is indicative of play he might be going for later on in the game, since he knows that BoxeR is at the 6 o'clock position. Maybe he'll do some sort of drop play with this factory. See here, BoxeR seeing the wall in, can't get in. He does note though probably that there isn't any marines, so that 50 minerals that JoSeZ saved probably would have been invested in something else. And you can see JoSeZ supply blocked, floating a lot of money, getting a second factory as well, also getting that starport. So perhaps we'll be seeing drop play from JoSeZ, as we do see BoxeR trying to be a bit cute here with the supply depot. Gets the SCV across and gets the scout in. He's got to see the starport. Will he see the second factory? Yes, he will. He sees everything here. Also sees the armory being built, so it looks like this might be a life drop from JoSeZ, as we don't see a machine shop being added onto this factory. Meanwhile, BoxeR himself built a vulture for the ramp, gets a second factory. Armory on the way, but we don't see starport. There goes the starport here for BoxeR to counteract his opponent, as the control tower is being added on to the starport. So we'll definitely be seeing the dropship come here for JoSeZ, as we do see BoxeR also being a bit obnoxious with the barracks, trying to disrupt JoSeZ and his economy, trying to land it in the in this space where the SCVs are. Yep, you can see here, trying to be a bit cute, but it's not really that too much in the end. JoSeZ is also building a vulture for himself to get rid of the SCV. And the Goliaths are on the way. Also an engineering babe here from JoSeZ. He just wants to be playing it safe right now because he wasn't able to get the SCV into the base of BoxeR. Remember, there was the Marine and the Vulture blocking that ramp. So it could be just there. He's building that engineering bay just to make sure that there aren't any Wraith cloak shenanigans from BoxeR. Given the close positions of the two players, 2 port Wraith with cloak would be a pretty good strategy. We can see, yeah, there we go, missile turret. Not really in an optimal position, but good enough for detection around his factories. Dropship is out as well. And we do see BoxeR actually going for an expansion here. Probably feels pretty comfortable in the current situation. He's got the 2 factories. He knows that JoSeZ only has his own 2 factories, as well as a starport. So, taking that expansion to try and get an economic lead coming into the mid game. Got a dropship here, trademark unit of JoSeZ BoxeR being loaded up with 4 Goliaths, and then immediately gets dropped there. Not really sure what the idea was behind it. Maybe he wanted to hide his unit count from that floating engineering base. We do have a vulture of JoSeZ, will scout this expansion. Kills the SCV, which is mildly annoying for JoSeZ BoxeR. We'll just move another SCV from the main base to complete that command center. Meanwhile, do see JoSeZ adding a machine shop, perhaps to get Goliath range or add some siege tanks to his army composition. But we do have a drop here coming here from JoSeZ. 4 Goliaths getting dropped here at the left side of JoSeZ BoxeR's base. Let's see how much damage this attack can do, as we do see Goliaths come in here from the dropship. Oh, the dropship's actually got to go down there from JoSeZ BoxeR, so he won't be able to do as much drop harass as he thought he could if he had that dropship alive. See the Goliath count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Around 8 Goliaths for BoxeR, 4 Goliaths for JoSeZ. BoxeR solid 8 or 10 supply ahead. His expansion's now up. Now starting to get that gas. Looking to be a pretty good situation here for BoxeR, as he is now starting to add those machine shops to those factories. Also adding a 3rd factory with that expansion being taken. Meanwhile, JoSeZ is adding a 2nd machine shop to the already established first one. Also grabbing that siege upgrade and starting to pump out those tanks. Don't see any sign of an expansion from him though, so it looks like this is going to be a very heavy 1 base play from our Peruvian player. Got the double dropships being loaded here for BoxeR. And it looks like he's going to try and find somewhere to get some damage done. Doesn't get anything, as JoSez's defenses are pretty good. Will at least take out this engineering bay. For the siege tank though, being sieged up, getting not 1 but 2 pot shots onto those Goliaths. So those Goliaths are pretty damaged. You got 4 Goliaths that have taken that damage from that 1 siege tank that JoSeZ was able to siege up. And yep, there we go. Command center on the way here for JoSeZ. Although, given the situation of the game, BoxeR does have the economic lead right now, as his dropships are just lying in wait in the main base. You can see how diligent BoxeR is with his scouting as well. Not only scouting with the Vulture, but also with the Goliath, as we see a counter drop here from JoSeZ. Got 3 tanks as well as a bundle of Goliaths being dropped. Tanks doing a lot of damage here to the army of BoxeR. BoxeR is not prepared for these siege tanks. Siege tanks doing a ton of damage here against BoxeR's army. BoxeR has to move his SCVs up to defend from this attack, as the Goliath does go down. And oh, looks like BoxeR decides to send back his SCV. He's not finishing off this siege tank. Let's see how much damage this siege tank can do. Not anymore, but that was a sizable amount of army that was lost there on the side of BoxeR. 54 out of 100 supply. And we got more drops coming out here from JoSeZ. 3 tanks. And he's also got the SCVs as well for the missile turrets in the main base. I've never seen this before. That is crazy. He's got the repairs going onto the siege tanks too. And there's nothing that BoxeR can do about it. He's only got these dropships here. He's got dropships with no units to reinforce this defense. And the turrets as well doing damage to the dropships. That dropship is forced to retreat as the Goliaths do land on the tanks of JoSeZ. As the Goliaths of BoxeR do reposition themselves. But JoSeZ is once again reinforcing this attack, dropping yet another tank. See the rally point as well. He's got a tank starting to get his command center to the expansion as well. BoxeR does have this expansion going, but there's nothing at the main base of BoxeR. And if JoSeZ is able to wait on these factories, JoSeZ will win this game. Can you believe it? 3 Goliaths do come out here for BoxeR. Repair doesn't come in time for JoSeZ, so we'll lose another siege tank, but JoSeZ has a really nice position. He's got the turrets here to stop the dropships from doing any more reinforcement. BoxeR desperately trying to defend his main base, loads up the dropship with SCVs to try and get some splash damage done. But JoSeZ drops another tank to help reinforce this little attack. Turret as well doing damage onto that command center. Command center's gonna burn down if BoxeR is not careful. As we do see the 5 SCVs dropped onto the tanks of JoSeZ, but JoSeZ reinforcing here with yet another siege tank. He's still going off these 2 factories. Has he added any more? No, he hasn't. Marine here doing a bit of damage to the expansion. Also, BoxeR in base at the 2 o'clock position. As BoxeR is desperately trying to stay in this game as his factories are being under siege here from our Peruvian player. Command center about to burn down for BoxeR as JoSeZ decides to scout the map for any hidden expansions. Marine Goliath still continuing to get damage done to this command center. As BoxeR trying to get some SCV drops done to force the splash damage. I really like this move here from JoSeZ as well with the turrets to stop those dropship drops. 1 factory goes down, the other 2 under siege. BoxeR struggling for resources right now as well. Despite the fact that he has 2 bases, he just doesn't have the SCV saturation to get the most out of them. And he floats that 3rd factory. And there's no more production here from BoxeR. He's building a starport at the top right. Perhaps he thinks that Wraiths would be the path to get back into this game. But JoSeZ unsieges and looks to eliminate the rest of BoxeR's main base. As JoSeZ able to maynard some SCVs from his main base. And he's got this expansion going. As BoxeR desperately tries to stay in this game. Once again, using the SCVs to try and kill the tanks of his opponent using Splash. Stops the missile turret from completing there. Another missile turret there as well, attacking the command center, which is pretty funny. Unsieges here, JoSeZ. And he should be able to clean up the rest of these SCVs. The turret as well should be able to kill the command center. And with this expansion being sieged up, it is looking worse and worse here for Slayer's BoxeR. As JoSeZ starting to reinforce his expansion with some turrets. He's got a 1 soul siege tank to help defend that vulture that was being pesky from BoxeR. More units coming in here. Oh, siege tank. Oh, jeez. The mines taking out the siege tank. Wraith as well to stop the dropships to slow down the push. But JoSeZ can probably just build Goliaths, and that's what he's doing right now. Would like to see him maybe get some more factories as well to help with the macro. Yep, the command center is forced to float. And outside of this 3 o'clock, or the 2 o'clock base, which looks like JoSeZ, I think, scouted. BoxeR does not have much at all to work with. The 1 Soul Wraith trying to get some work done here. 24 supply compared to the 73 of our Peruvian player. BoxeR desperately trying to stay in this game, floating this command center, most likely to the island. Rebuilding here at the 2 o'clock position. It's not optimal here from JoSeZ, the command center placement, but who cares at this point? Yeah, he's added the 3rd factory, building a 4th as well. All he needs to do is just get some units out and just stop BoxeR from rebuilding here at the top right. And it looks like these 2 command centers are going to burn down as well. As BoxeR's now researching Cloak, trying to get something done with these 2 Wraiths. But looks like JoSeZ is just going to aim move towards this 2 o'clock position. Oh, the dropship gets killed there. JoSez's dropship. Minor victory for BoxeR, but it's too little too late. As JoSeZ brings the rest of his units towards the last base of Slayer's BoxeR. Tanks being sieged up here from our Peruvian player. And all that BoxeR has are these dropships and SCVs. 1 Wraith, but that is not going to be enough to deal with these 2 Goliaths. And you can see here, Slayer's BoxeR. 1 command center goes down, the 2nd one will go down right about now. JoSeZ is just getting further ahead by building yet another command center, taking this mineral only. BoxeR desperately trying to stay in this game with Cloaked Wraiths. And yeah, he doesn't have comp stats. He doesn't have an academy, which is pretty funny, given the state of the game. But in this small Wraith count, they're not going to amount to too much. As BoxeR now floating, trying to get something done. But there is nothing that BoxeR can do to win this game, it seems. There we go, there's the comp stats, and GG, in the biggest upset of WCG history, BoxeR goes down to the Peruvian Terran player, JoSeZ. Spoiler alert, despite this loss to JoSeZ, BoxeR was able to make it out of his group. And he eventually won WCG that year, so despite this blip, this is probably considered one of the most shocking moments in esports history, where the greatest Terran player of his time went down to an amateur Terran player from Peru. But that's it for this old school or replay cast. Hope you guys enjoyed that game. There was actually a lot of stuff from that game that I completely forgot about, which was cool to see. And I'll see you guys in the next broadcast.